that's a way to make yourself very sad. You know, you that old tears of a clown thing, like, you know, performers that can't switch off. I don't think I have that. Maybe, look, talk to Megan. Maybe I do live like that, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think Craig is one of those performers that can't switch off. He's different at home than he is on stage, and, you know, happily so. I think that to have somebody who's on all the time would be exhausting.
So, do you think the expression tears of a clown applies to Craig?
I think that's a revolting phrase, tears of a clown. And I'm sad you've said it. Clowns are creepy, but I didn't marry a clown. I married a stand-up, which is much creepier.
I totally think my dad's different off stage and on stage. It's two completely different people. I will say that I'm glad I have the off-stage dad as my dad, that's for sure. No offense to the on-stage dad, it's just that's a lot to take in.
I don't have a favorite joke. I don't like jokes. It's like impossible for me to laugh. Ha ha ha.
Like if I stop touring, it's not because I don't want to perform. It's because I don't want to travel. Like if I could find a way of getting everybody to travel to see me, but then I wouldn't want that because I'd be like, what are you all doing here?
Why are you in my house?
This is where I live.
Do you know who I really wanted to be? The model of masculinity for me, the guy who I wanted to be more than anyone else, was actually Kurt Russell. That was the one I wanted to be. He's fucking awesome, Kurt Russell. To this day, he's awesome. He's got a new movie out on Netflix where he plays Santa. Yeah, and here's this is how cool Kurt Russell is. It's not that bad. You know, how much money do you think Netflix had to give Kurt fucking Russell to play Santa? Hey, Kurt, will you play Santa? Fuck off! It's $1 quadrillion. Ho, ho, ho. He's awesome, Kurt Russell. He's fucking fantastic. You know that Kurt Russell has worn an eye patch in 3 movies? That is statistically impossible. You can't do that. I think he just wears an eye patch when he feels like it. The director's like, yeah, this is a romantic comedy. I'm wearing a fucking eye patch. You're playing Santa. Santa's got a sore eye. I always loved Kurt Russell. I always thought he was fantastic. And then I met him when I was doing the late night show and we became friends. Fuck it, yeah. Well, he's not here. Yeah, I'm friends with Kurt Russell. Me and Kurt are best friends. I'm quite friendly with him. It was kind of weird. I was excited to meet him when he was on the show because, you know, don't meet your heroes kind of thing. But he was great. He's very alpha, though. You got to be careful. When he came on the show, I had to do that thing that little dog does when he meets a big dog. It's like, hey, Kurt, here's my tummy. As you can see, I'm completely non-threatening in every way. Yeah, all right. He was awesome, though, and I got talking to him. And, you know, we were just talking about things that he liked. And he said, well, what he likes most in the world is, there's 3 things that he liked. He said, I like Goldie Hawn, which makes sense, I suppose. And he said, I like acting. Well, I said, I don't really like acting, but it pays good money. And I'm like, not in my experience, Kurt Russell. And he said, but what he really lives for and how he would describe himself, and this is true, he doesn't think he's an actor, he's an aviator. Kurt Russell is an aviator. What he likes to do is fly airplanes. He gets into dangerous little small airplanes and flies them into bad weather wearing an eye patch. Yeah, and he comes by, honestly, he's the grandson of Bud Russell, who was a great American pioneer of aviation. He was a contemporary of Lindbergh and the Wright brothers. I mean, it's in his blood, and he's great at it. He loves flying airplanes. So we were talking, and I said to him, oh, I couldn't do that, Kurt Russell. I'm frightened of flying, because I was at the time. And he said, you're not frightened of flying. I said, I am. He said, no, you're not. I said, I think I know my own mind, Kurt Russell. He said, you're not frightened of flying. You just don't know enough about it. You need a flying lesson. I was like, I absolutely do not need a fucking flying lesson. Thank you, Kurt Russell. And I threw to a commercial break, didn't think any more about it. That was on the Wednesday. Saturday of that week, I kid you not, a fucking guy comes to my house. Hi, Kurt Russell sent me up to take you for your flying lesson. Like, what? Yeah, you've been set up at Van Nuys Airport. Van Nuys Airport in California is this old airport in the flying school. Said, yeah, Bob, a friend of Kurt's, is going to teach you. This is a great honor. Bob is our best instructor. Bob's going to teach you how to fly. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? How do you even know where I live? And I said to my wife, do you know anything about this? And she went, oh yeah, surprise. Like, what are you talking about? She said, Kurt Russell called. Like, Kurt Russell called this house? Yeah, he set up a flying list. I said, you know how I feel about flying. She went, Kurt Russell.
I was talking to a bunch of people that were coming to your show last night about why they're fans of yours and what they like about your stand-up.
He's funny. I just think he's raw, he's honest, and he is just so funny.
He never fails to make me laugh.
Just an award-winning personality.
He's just a down-to-earth guy.
It's just like I'm kind of a bizarre guy, and it resonates with bizarre humor that I like.
Everything that comes out of his mouth is hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not for everybody, but I am for them. That thing I say in the show about making stand-up for people that come and see me, that's true. I would never go on a stage and not try 100% every night, even if I'm like tired or shit. I don't fucking phone it in. I never phone it in. But sometimes the audience does, but I don't.
So I got in this car, I swear, I get in the car and I go to Van Nuys Airport where I meet Bob, my flying instructor. Bob is 350 pounds covered in body hair. His hair is crinkly I can hear it crinkling under his pilot shirt. It sounds like someone's opening a brown paper package all the time. He's a big guy, Bob, a big, musky guy. I suspect lives alone. He's gonna teach me how to fly. Bob, I kid you not, has a fucking eye patch! I'm like, wait a minute, doesn't that get in the way when you're flying? He said, ha ha, take it off for landing, ha ha ha. And he said, Kurt got in touch with me. I've got to teach you how to fly. I love your show. I said, thanks very much. You're a funny guy. He said, thanks very much. He said, are you looking forward to this? I said, no, I really don't want to do this, actually. He said, ha ha, you're a funny guy. Get in the plane. So we get into this plane. It was a Cessna 172. If you don't know the Cessna 172, it's not a huge plane. It's like a smart car with a surfboard tied to the top of it. It's not an overpowered machine. So I get into the plane with Bob, and I'm stuck next to Bob. He's big, and it's either I can smell my own fear, or I can just flat out smell Bob. Or a bit like when he said, "You ready for this?" And I was like, "No, I really don't want to do this." Ha ha ha! You're a funny guy. And he guns the engine of the underpowered, mighty Cessna 172, and the plane goes along the runway like this. Then we take off, we float around in the Santa Ana winds for about an hour, bumping and turbulence and stuff. I was really shitting my pants, terrified. And then we landed, and he said, "Did you enjoy that?" And I said, "No, I fucking hated it. It was terrible." He went, "Ha ha, you're a funny guy. Do you want to book another lesson?" And I said, "Yeah." Yeah, I do. Now, let me explain why. I'm an alcoholic. Now, if you don't know what that is, fuck, you live in Boston, you fucking know what it is. You either are one, you're married to one, or you were raised by one. You fucking know what I'm talking about. All right? All right, so I'm an alcoholic. Now, as you know, you've probably bumped into alcoholics who've stopped drinking, like me. They stopped drinking, but they're still fucking assholes. They just are assholes who don't drink anymore, and I'm one of those. And I've got this alcoholic mindset, which is, I don't like something, but if I keep doing it, I might like it, and there could be pleasure in it for me. And alcoholics are all about pleasure. I've taken 30 acid trips. I hated every single fucking one of them. But you can't be too careful. So I start taking these flying lessons. I've taken about 8 flying lessons, and after about 8 flying lessons, I was like, wait, I'm not terrified of this. I'm cool. I get in airplanes and just fucking fly them around. And it's awesome. And now I have a pilot's license, and I fly little airplanes around in bad weather, wearing an iPad. And that's good. Kurt Russell did that for me.
Tomas is an interesting person. You know, he usually tours with rock bands. You know, so any kind of behavior that I get up to is nothing. I feel like I'm an easy gig for Tomas. Also, you know, he's from the Carpathian Mountains. He sleeps in a casket with the soil of his native land.
Has he changed the way you tour and?
Yeah, he
and
does.
all of that?
I mean, the tour. When I used to tour, I used to have planes, and like I had a plane. You know, we had planes, and there was like 5 guys on stage, and it was like a whole thing, and it was very expensive. And Tomas was like, we don't have to do this, and we just got a bus. I said we could just go from town to town.
So I feel like the act I started touring on with him was very frantic, very full of energy, walking around on the stage. This one, I feel like he moved to Scotland. I feel like he is getting back to his roots and forgetting about the famous life, the TV life, and the fake life in a way, you know. And I think it shows in the act. He tries to enjoy it more, I feel.
I feel like if Tomas had his way, we would go from town to town on horseback.
One horse?
One horse, yeah. I'd sit up the front.
Oh,
I
nice.
hope.
I fell in love with aviation because it's the opposite of show business, and I think that's what really attracted it to me. Because show business is bullshit, and aviation is 100% rational and truthful. Like in show business, you bullshit to get the job, and you bullshit to keep the job. You know, oh, sure, I can ride a horse. Give me the part of the cowboy. I can do it. Sure, I can host a late night show. Just give me the suit. Sure, I can run the country. Just make me president. It'll be fine. Oh, hold on. I don't mean anyone in particular. But you know, in aviation is different. You bullshit in aviation, you die. First time. Do you know how to land this plane? No. There's so many lessons for humans in aviation and the science of aviation. It's very important, I think. It goes all the way back to the initial Greek myth of Daedalus and Icarus, the first aviation myth. You know the story, Daedalus and Icarus? If you don't know, very briefly, it's the father-son team that make their own flying machines. Back in the days of ancient Greece, they make these flying machines, sort of hang glider things made out of bird feathers and wax. No one knows how to do that anymore. You try and do that now, you'll just end up making a fabulous outfit. But Daedalus and Icarus, and the story is that Daedalus is the father and the more experienced one, and Icarus is a little dick with an Instagram account. He's like, hey. And Daedalus says to Icarus, he says, careful, Icarus. Because a lot of the ancient Greeks were from Britain. Anyway, Daedalus and Icarus. So Daedalus says to Icarus, he says, careful, Icarus. Do not fly your flying machine too close to the sun, for the heat of the sun will melt the wax, and the feathers will fall out, and you will crash and die. But Icarus doesn't listen. Icarus is on Instagram. Icarus needs to take a selfie at high altitude for his followers. So he goes to, and the story goes, of course, that the sun melts the wax, and Icarus crashes and dies. But except that's bullshit. Because anyone who knows anything about aviation knows the higher you go, the colder it gets. That's how you measure altitude, you dozy fuckers. What I'm saying is, I suppose, young people, I think what we can take from this myth is that old people are full of shit and they don't know anything. Don't listen to them, they're making it up. They don't know anything better than you. They just have dry skin and have to go to the bathroom a lot. That's the only difference.
I watched his very first show, and I can remember when it was, just a couple of years back. And I talked to him after the show on the bus, and I said, you know, I watched your show last night, and I didn't watch it for the comedy. I said, I watched how you carried yourself on the stage, because to watch what he's doing and to listen to his comedy is two different things. And I could see not trying to give him the big head, but I'm just saying, I could see his professionalism. I could see, like, if I'm doing my job right, you guys think it's easy. If I can make it look easy, then I'm doing my job right. Because if I don't make it look easy, then I'll worry you about, well, is Ronnie ever a good driver? You know. So if I make it look easy, then I've done my job right. And I think Craig's the same way. Only his is so much harder. Can you imagine trying to make people laugh? And you think it's easy to make people laugh, but no, it can't be. You know, it's got to be, you know, you got to have your stuff together.
Swing wide.
Swing wide.
Swing wide, Ronnie.
Yes, sir.
Ronnie is an excellent driver, and he's an interesting man, and a nice man, and a kind man, and so much so that if Ronnie's not available to do a tour, I won't go until he's ready to go.
No, I fell out of love with show business. It was because I did Late Night too long, I think, and I fell out of love with show business. It's full of shit. I fucking hate show business. I'm fucking stupid assholes. I think we have an unhealthy relationship with show business in America. Frankly, I do, and we deify these people, and I've met them, and they're, with the exception of Kurt Russell, almost universally douchebags. And I don't know why we do it. And I think the reason why we deify these people is because we don't have a royal family. So we make it's kind of ersatz royal family. Elvis was the king, John Wayne was the duke, Michael Jackson was the king of pop, Beyonce is Queen Bee, Lady Gaga, Count Chocula. It goes on. And I did not come to America to get another royal family. I'm not a royalist. I came here to get away from all that royal shit. I don't like the way that British people are always banging on about how great Her Majesty the Queen is. Like, isn't Her Majesty marvelous? She's marvelous. Do you know, she's 94. We've got old ladies in America too, pal. You go to Florida, you'll shit your pants. And you won't be the only one. I don't think British people are actually that into the royal family. I think what it is they pretend to be into the royal family because the royals are in charge of giving out knighthoods. And everybody wants a knighthood. Everybody wants to be touched on the shoulders with a magical sword. 10 points to Gryffindor. Prince Charles touches you with a magical sword, which has to be blunted, because it's Prince Charles. Oh, what's this? Is this a telephone? I'll call Mummy. Oh, I stabbed my eye. Oh, I'm stabbing myself. I'm an inbred fucking hillbilly with a crown. Now, if you can't say that in Boston, where the fuck can you say it? There goes my knighthood. But you know what the thing is? I think knighthood's gonna freak me out. The most recent one really bothered me. There's a knighthood that's just happened, and I'm very upset about it, is that Ringo Starr just became a knight. Now, listen, don't get me wrong, Ringo is tenured. He's a Beatle, nothing derogatory will be said about Ringo Starr. I love Ringo Starr, he's a Beatle for God's sakes. But he's not Ringo Starr anymore. Ringo Starr sounds cool, but he's not Ringo Starr, he's Sir Ringo now. Sir Ringo sounds like a monkey. Oh, what's Sir Ringo doing? He's throwing his poop at the children. Ringo Starr was up, but Ringo Starr was famous when being famous meant something, when you could actually have to do something to be famous, like being a band, not just have somebody on the internet pee on you. You had to actually do something. Oh, hey, I made it up? Oh yeah, I made it up. I invented a scenario that doesn't exist. Fuck you. No, I love Ringo Starr. He used to go to Studio 54 and all that kind of stuff when famous people were cool, snorting cocaine off of little people's heads. They did that. In Studio 54, they used to have bald little people. Don't say it. I'm not going to say it. Bald little. That was a job in the 1970s if you were little. You could shave your head and get a job. That's outrageous. It's terrible. I don't think it's good at all. Did you just get a new job? Yeah, I don't really want to talk about it, man. It's too much, isn't it? No, sorry. I'm sorry. I know, it's all right. We can cut that out. Did you get a haircut, too? Yeah, I don't want to talk about it, man. But that was my favorite show, and that is the one that I think you should concentrate on for the meat of it, because I feel like it has energy and fun, and it's kind of naughty and.
I think being away from your family is hard, and I don't like it. And if I stop doing it, and I think I probably am going to stop doing it, I don't know that I'll tour much after this. I don't know if I'll tour at all after this, actually. Maybe do a couple of gigs here and there, but a big tour like this, I think I'm done with that.
And that's coming off a great show. You still feel that way?
Yeah, I think so. I think that, you know, look, this has been a good tour. We've been all over. Like, we should have in this series a map with a line that shows all the. We've been everywhere. We've been from San Diego to Boston, right? We've been all across America and Canada too. I don't know that I want to keep doing it. Maybe this is enough. Maybe this one's been enough. It's been a good one, and it's a nice one to kind of get done with. But I don't feel the need to do it anymore. I might feel that in a few years, but I don't think so.